Hi, Tantric travelers. Welcome to the age of Aquarius. Happy birthday, all you Aquarian shakas. Wait, how do we do it? Shakas. Yes, Uranus, your ruling planet, is in the house. And it's friggin' beautiful energy. I'm loving it. There's lots of unpredictability with Uranus, and people say Uranus is a future forward planet and energy. But the thing about that is that it's future forward with no stable or no predictable destination or outcome. So what's going on right now globally is and interpersonally and within each and every one of us remains to be seen and can change at a moment's notice, can change at the drop of a hat. And I've been feeling this Uranian energy since the new moon in Aquarius about 10 days ago, and I've tried to do the Aquarius birthday party reading a few times in a few different interesting locations, and always they were interrupted by some strange circumstance and occurrence. I was trying to do a reading because I was thinking Aquarius, the water bearer, and water and light, and the star, and hydrogen, and I was all inspired, and but I felt a little bit dutiful as well. So I hiked down to this secluded location by a pond and set up my technology, and what do you know, my sunglasses fell in the river, and a container of yogurt exploded in my bag all over, the rest of my technical devices, and all kinds of weird stuff. It started to rain. Some fleas started attacking me. So I took it as a sign. Oh, the rooster's got something to say over there. I took it as a sign that day that, unpredictable events can change the flow of time and space and can change the flow of prediction, you know? And in fact, the planet Uranus, which rules you beautiful Aquarian souls here on Earth, the planet Uranus was a late discovery, a late bloomer in human consciousness, and previous to its discovery in 1781, your sign was ruled by Saturn. And Uranus is also a ringed planet of great mystery, and originally was thought by astronomers to be a star or a comet, and eventually was discovered through a telescope to be a planet by the astronomer Herschel, I believe his name was. Rooster's not going to give up. But it's cool because Aquarian energy is a wake-up call, in my opinion. And this is what's been happening on Earth with the world situation, with this pandemia that we're all entranced by. And there's been like kind of a point-by-point domino effect kind of awakening going on. But in some places, people are more entranced than others, and the government is more entranced with its fascist opportunities in some places. And Uranus is the breakaway from any kind of establishment rule or concept. So Aquarian energy and Uranus, it's more than just being a rebel or rebellious, or the way that it's kind of perceived in the late 60s and early 70s version of the Age of Aquarius, and that initial kind of pre-awakening. There's a few different stages that Uranus prompts us to in our awakening process, and just as its own discovery, first being viewed as a star from a distance and then being discovered as a planet through a telescope. And then that astronomer Herschel was trying to name Uranus after King George of England. So that's pretty establishment. And there was much disagreement within the community of astronomers and within, the public concern and perception. And eventually it was suggested by another astronomer, Bode, that Uranus be named what we know it as now. And UrAnus is the god of the sky in the Greek stories and in the Greek mythological system. And that's a little bit more wide open than the monarch of one small country. So you can see kind of how this energy works. But it was several years after its initial discovery that Uranus received the name that we humans here on Earth now know it by. It's a very large planet, so it's very large and it's very different. And the sign of Aquarius is an air sign. It is you guys, you beautiful Aquarians, who are born with your sun in Aquarius, with your moon in Aquarius, is a really interesting placement. Really with Venus or Mars in Aquarius, your ascendant in Aquarius are the most sort of significant ones that affect us. Mercury as well. All of us. My moon is in Aquarius. All of us, we're a little bit of a weird bunch, I'm not gonna lie. When the Aquarian energy, when the energy of Uranus is really affecting us, we can be really far-fetched. We can be far-reaching. We can be out there. The phrase "out there," really to me, kind of peaks the energy, the Uranian energy. Yeah, it's the 7th planet from the sun, and it takes about 84 Earth years for Uranus to make its way around the sun. And it, as I just learned recently, and I thought it was cool because I'm swinging in this hammock, and normally I'm like this up here in the air on the mountaintop, and Uranus actually spins on its side, which is really cool. And it spins in the opposite direction of Earth, not from east to west, but from west to east, like Venus does. And I think I mentioned already that Uranus also has rings like Saturn does. So although Uranus has much in common with the rest of our planetary family and certain members of our planetary family, and although we share the same central star, Uranus is just, it's a different cat, like Uranus is just a different cat. And the most different thing about Uranus is the shock factor. So I was trying to give the 18 plus shocker symbol. Here it is on its side. I hope that doesn't offend anyone. This might turn into an 18 plus reading. However, it's not only that Uranus and Aquarians are rebels. They are rebels in ways that could never ever be predicted. And I think Aquarians often surprise ourselves when we are in the energy of Uranus and Aquarius. We often surprise ourselves with the things that we do that are revelations of who we are on a soul level. And the other cool thing about what I feel and what I notice about Uranian and Aquarian energy is that it is not confined to timelines and is not confined to the karmic laws and rules as is the energy of Saturn. And I think I feel strongly with my moon in Aquarius, intuitively, instinctively, that the appearance of Uranus in human consciousness, there was there was a reason for that, and I feel that in some ways we may have even projected through timelines from the future the appearance of Uranus in human consciousness here on to human consciousness here on Earth as an energy that was necessary in order to nudge, to bump, to shock humanity out of its slumber. And those of you who are familiar with, the Vedic spiritual system, or the Mayan spiritual system, Mayan calendars, the Mexica calendars, know that right now, as of approximately 2012, we're coming out of an extremely long cycle of cycles wherein humanity descended into a very unconscious state or a lower conscious state. And, that the last era of that, which was about 5,128 years, I believe, the last era of that is in the Vedic system called the Kali Yuga, and Kali is the Dark Mother. So we had to, in some ways, our consciousness had to go deeper and deeper into the sub and then the unconscious in order for us to be cued again and for the earthly sovereign human experience to ascend again. It's not just on Earth, though. It's consciousness all over the universe that is experiencing this phenomenon in different ways, depending upon the nature of their perception, their tools, their apparati, their bodies, their minds, their spirits, their soul consciousness. I'm probably rambling here a little bit, so a wind has just come up and it's shockingly cold. But what I would like to do today, and besides give props to you beautiful Aquarians celebrating your birthday now. Oh, and I do want to mention one more thing. The planet Uranus was actually discovered during the lunar/solar cycle of Pisces. So that's a Venusian energy as well as a Neptunian energy. Neptune is the next planet out after Uranus. So that kind of tells me as well that there's some interesting tricks being played with time and space when it comes to the Uranian energy. And I think that's beautiful. I think timeline jumping is definitely something that is possible. I've experienced it myself, and I have, what's called past or parallel life memories in other timelines and other place lines, and I think that the energy of Uranus can be a cue for that. And the way that it enlightened me as I was kind of considering what's going on in the country of my birth right now, where there's, a huge group of protesters, kind of surprising in their appearance and nature, that are shocking the shit out of a lot of really complacent people in the population who started out trying to be helpful and trying to be good and trying to follow the rules and trying to play within the limitations that their government was giving them, and ended up being somnambulists, like sleepwalking through life and not really standing up for the sovereignty of their own consciousness. And, the way that this awakening or reawakening is coming about is shocking. It happened really suddenly, and the players or the actors who appear to be the ones instigating it and appear to be the ones making the, kind of the moderate population very, very uncomfortable are people that, people are saying, oh, it's the old white guys. But the thing is, the old white guys were hippies in the 60s and 70s, so they've already had the first awakening of Uranus. And there's also the fact that if, if human consciousness, and we're all in this together, guys, it's not, there's no separation by class, by color, by gender, or sex. Here on planet Earth when we're living here, and even after we go and before we come, this is human consciousness. It's a continuum. However, it's very possible that we as a collective consciousness even sent this shocking group of actors through the time-space continuum, through the Uranian vibe, through the Aquarian portal, to wake us up, because that's the only thing that could. That's it, only the swastikas, and mixed with the old white guys, and the people that are supposed to be just delivering our Amazon merchandise and not saying anything about it. Well, there's real human beings behind all of these symbols and all of these labels and all of these projections that we're throwing at the rest of humanity right now, while still, laying in our hammocks, wanting to be sung a lullaby until somebody tells us that the world's all better. Well, I'm so glad that this Uranian age has shocked the shit out of us to wake us up again. And I'm not in Canada right now, because I do not lend any of my energy to the kind of fascism that was presenting itself to me when I went back to visit in the summer. And because I've already experienced my own series of shocking events in my life, and I had already kind of irrevocably taken my sovereignty in a waking state and owned it, and I protect it daily. Because I've already done that, I didn't want to lend any more of my energy to the collective dream that was spinning itself in the country of my birth, as it is elsewhere on Earth. So this is a super long introduction, and a little bit serious, you beautiful Aquarians. I might actually divide the reading into two. So this is your birthday party, and I'm sorry that it's kind of like this, but I know you guys are cerebral, and I am up here in the beautiful breezes, al aire of the mountains of southern Mexico, and I send you this free, wide open energy. I send you the energy of the clouds. I send you the energy of the Zopilote, the beautiful circling vulture. I send you the energy of the wind. The wind that sometimes on a sunny day can just blow in a whole new weather system and encourage us to either go out walking or go inside and light a fire, crawl back under the covers, or it can wake us up, and that's the way the air energy works for all you beautiful air signs: Aquarian, Gemini, Libra. And it's a mental energy, and it's very changeable and movable, and just like Uranus is said to be, it can be perceived as being a little bit cold sometimes, but it can be perceived as being cold, as being detached. But I find that with the Uranian energy, so the planet Uranus balances out the house of Aquarius, kind of with like little pops and fizzes of excitement and change. And that is your strength, my beautiful Aquarians. I'm trying to think of some famous Aquarians that I know. I mean, all of the famous Aquarians I know are like personal friends and lovers. So they're all super weird cats, man. Like super weird cats, surprising cats. There's a lot of musicians, a lot of vocalists that are Aquarians. There's people that look really sedate, and you know they can be very beautiful, like coldly beautiful, and sometimes their appearance is kind of serious or traditional, or like they wear the same thing almost every day, and then all of a sudden they're like they're like naked, like you know, like climbing up a freaking coconut palm and and like serenading the flock of parrots, like just crazy shit. I mean, as far as hallucinogenics go, or as far as extra cerebral vibrations, I think LSD is probably the most Aquarian of the drugs, and I do love me some LSD. You could kind of see maybe an Aquarian energy might be like the spider on LSD weaving the web. You might have seen some of those pictures. Yeah. I had a little Aquarian phase for a while with people that I was dating. It was fun. It was fun. Lots of surprises. People do say that Aquarians can sometimes be unstable. So I guess the shock factor and the surprise factor might come with that. So I don't know if that mental instability, like they mean mentally unstable, like cuckoo. I don't know if that mental instability is something that is like real from the inside, or if it's only anxiety because you're receiving a lot of projections that from the outside, from you know the rest of the world, the rest of the population, that you're weird. I'm definitely an outsider. Like I might be the planet Uranus if I were a planet. I'm pretty far out there. And I like it that way. I've learned to love it that way. And it doesn't mean that I don't love all of the other planetary family members. I definitely do. However, I enjoy just feeling, you know, feeling the changing frequencies of the air and the planet and the stars. I like being close to the stars. Maybe you do too, my fellow Aquarians. So I want to wish you a really happy birthday, and I am going to do a happy birthday Aquarius pick a card reading 18 plus, and it's going to be what's your shocker. So how do you shock yourself? How do you surprise yourself? And let's have three objects or three concepts of meditation that I feel reflect the wind of change that blows in sometimes so quickly during this Aquarian cycle. So let's have the wind as one, let's have the clouds as another, and let's have the vulture or Zopilote as another. So the beautiful elements of air as expressed in the wind that we feel as beings and that we see in the trees around us, and then clouds, which are, you know, the water element embodied in the air, and then the vulture, the beautiful immense wingspan, purifying animal guardian, Father Zopilote, guardian of the north. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for circling endlessly, patiently awaiting your opportunity to sweep away the detritus of old energies to make space for the new. So, are you the wind? Are you the clouds? Or are you the vulture? So let's take those three piles, and we will start with pile number one, the wind. So what's your shock factor, pile number one? This could get 18 plus, by the way, so if you are under 18, then you might want to think twice about shocking yourself, because this could get weird. So let's start with the tarot and get an energy for our beautiful Aquarians and friends of Aquarians, lovers of Aquarians, our rebels, our shockers. Let the wind run through your hair. So yeah, we're wind energy. That's a few too many. We're at wind energy right now. Okay, wind energy, wind energy. What is the shock factor? Ooh, you got the Six of Swords. So swords is air energy in the tarot. You got the Six of Swords. So the shock factor is you're leaving. You're taking everything that you've learned. You're taking all of the anxieties that you have put to rest. You're taking all of the emotions that you are saving for something worthwhile. You're taking all the inspiration. You're taking everything you need with you. And you're fucking leaving town, baby. You're gone. You're out of there. So you could be even in a more material sense. You could be leaving a job behind. You could be leaving a home behind. You could be leaving a country behind. You could be leaving a belief, a set of beliefs behind. And you can see that this character is walking uphill, so she's ascending. And she actually has the mask of Horus, or the hawk, over her eyes, so she's seeing in a far-reaching way. Her vision is far-reaching. Her vision may even be interdimensional, like the god Horus, Heru Ka. So the six is also love. It's unconditional love. It's self-love, and it is balanced. So everything that needed to be brought into balance has been, and you are feeling free. You're not wearing shoes. I feel like you're going to a climate in many different areas of your life, probably maybe even up to 6 different areas of your life. You're going to a climate that is very pleasing to your mind. So this could be a literal climate. You could be climbing it. You could love the mountains even, or the hills. You could be going somewhere where there's an eternal spring energy. And yeah, this decision and these steps forward, and this is actually a card of Aquarius. Cool. Wow, I didn't even notice that before. You can see the Aquarian symbol here. And this is Virgo, I believe. No, sorry, this is Mercury. Mercury in Aquarius. Yeah, movement in Aquarius. So in this Aquarian season, I feel like you're actually going to be taking some steps out of your current situation, and you might surprise or shock a few people, including yourself. You might leave suddenly. This could be on a smaller scale as well as a larger. Like you could leave, you know, you could leave a gathering, you could leave your home, as I said, you could leave a relationship, you could leave a self-limiting belief, You could definitely go traveling somewhere, other countries, other places, other climates. Yeah, you're seeing things in from a much higher perspective, and you're seeing that your learning is complete on a certain level, and that to contribute to your own flowering, this flower of life imagery behind the character, you got to get up and go, and you are. So it could even be, waiting around for something to change and then deciding you're going to change it yourself. So that's one shocking thing. Let's take a look at, see if there's anything sexy coming out. So how might pile number 1, the wind, shock herself or himself? Okay, we have Alpino, yeah. So I do feel like you could be going out to a natural environment, but Alpino is also the pineal gland, and being led by your first eye, your higher eye, your highest vision. And what else about Alpino? Alpino, what am I getting from this? Because of the rose color on the earth here, I do feel like you could be even starting your journey by going somewhere that you really love, where the culture, the land, the people, the roots, it could be somewhere of your roots, going back or going to a place for the first time that your ancestry is based in. And this could be a visitation of, a past life place, and it could be another tier on your ascension journey to go to this place. And I do feel like there could be some pine trees there as well, but I see a lot of growth for you. This could be something to do with being 30 or in your 30s, at the end of your 30s even. This could also be a place that you visited 30 years ago, or when you were 30, that you're returning to. And it could be a state of mind, like a renewal. Pine is a very healing plant, is a very purifying plant. You could be going there to kind of take some bugs out of your head, to clear some, some implants put there by external parties, and to reattain your own sovereignty. Yes. I'm even hearing the 30th of March as being a really important day for you. So that's not in the Aquarian season, but I don't know, 30th of March, maybe it's your birthday. So nothing really sexy came through, in my view there, but that is how you're going to shock yourself, and that's pretty cool. You're out of here, my friend. You're out of here, wind people, wind tantric travelers, and I wish you a wonderful journey and many happy returns. Okay, moving on to the second pile of the Aquarius birthday party, possibly 18 plus. What's your shocker? Got really crooked fingers. My shocker would be, let's not get into that. What's your shocker? Pile number 2. So pile number 2 was the clouds. There's some beautiful clouds. I might even do some Nubian augury for you, my dears. Okay, what do I see for pile number 2, the cloud pile? Pile number 2, how might they shock others? How might they shock themselves? Kind, wise guides. Planet Uranus. might they shock themselves? Oh, okay, I see that you're gonna kiss somebody, or somebody's gonna kiss you that you weren't expecting. I'm seeing, I saw that you might actually seek out a psychic reading. I saw like an Arabian energy, kind of like Aladdin up there, like a genie in a bottle. You have a wish and you're trying to manifest it, and you might shock yourself by believing it's possible and by actually manifesting it. So that's a pretty cool way to shock yourself, and the manifestation of this wish could shock other people too. And Aladdin, the magic lamp, you know, rubbing the magic lamp. You could make a wish on something and almost instantaneously see it manifest for you. That's pretty beautiful. That's what I saw in the clouds for you. So let's look in your cards. Let's look in your cards, my dears. For those of you beautiful tantric travelers who chose the clouds, air energy, Aquarian energy, Uranian energy, how will pile number 2, the clouds, shock themselves and others? What's their shocker? What's their shocker? Please. Guides, kind, wise, rebellious, gorgeous, talented. Guides of pile number 2. What will their shocker be? Okay, we've got the King of Swords. That is Aquarian energy. So I was feeling right from the beginning of your pile that if you're watching this, you are an Aquarius. Either Sun, Moon, or Mars, I'm getting. So what are you going to do? If you can see, this King of Swords is about to say something, and this energy is coming up a lot in the collective through individuals who are acting out of, either consciously or unconsciously, acting out the Aquarian, the Uranian energy by being a game changer, by speaking, by saying something. They could even be surprising themselves. They are kind of putting they're putting their material needs and even their own individual emotional needs behind them. This is air of air. So yes, the King of Swords, he's a shocker. His voice is powerful, his words are succinct, but sometimes abrupt and without nostalgia, without worrying about offending others anymore. And that's the thing about Aquarian energy. You can think that you know what's coming, but you don't. And trust me, if you think that everything has already come out before the full moon of this lunar cycle in Aquarius, it hasn't. It really hasn't. And no matter how much you think that you can predict the unpredictability of Aquarius and the King of Swords, you can't. The King of Swords is a game changer and is moved by, although the King of Swords is rational in his presentation and in his self-expression and is very well spoken, the King of Swords, what the King of Swords energy brings out to the collective, to himself, to others, him, herself, clearly, is really the Uranian energy. So the King of Swords is like, no, you're not going to call me King George. You know, I am a king because I am sovereign within myself. I am a king because my mind is clear. I am a king because I can channel the energy from future timelines to the salvation of those I serve. And who are those I serve? I serve the collective consciousness of humanity. So I serve all of the planetary family of this solar system. So let's see what the King of Swords is going to say. Let's see what you're going to say when you bring out your shocker. Also, you know, this could be a collective thing, but you could also shock yourself by saying something to one individual even, you know? Somebody that you work with, somebody that you work for. Oh, okay, so I'm seeing it could be a lover as well. You could really pleasantly shock a lover. This is El Venado, the deer, or Venus energy. So, yeah, this could be... you know, shocking somebody with the artistic integrity that you express, shocking somebody with the loving integrity that you express. And again, we have El Barid. So this is like a collective energy, and it came out in reverse. So I feel like you could shock somebody by completely going against the grain of who everyone thinks that you are, who everyone thought you were, or what everyone believes collectively, or what they say they believe. Yeah, and I think there could be even some, you know, bringing to the surface of things that have been hidden, that have been even corrupt with this card, in a relationship or in collective energy. But Venus is here, so, you know, Venus, El Venado, it's loving energy, it's unconditional love, and it's also transformative energy, like profoundly powerful transformation. So I feel that you could be an actor for this kind of transformation, transmutation through your art, through your words, through what you have to say and your expression. As the King of Swords, pure Aquarian energy. That's really beautiful and really cool. So you don't even know what's coming. You don't even know what's coming. That's the nature of this Uranian energy. So please, enjoy the surprise of your own life, of your own beautiful potential as an Aquarian soul in the upcoming Aquarian Age. Thank you, pile number 2, the clouds. Okay, let's move on to pile number 3. Yes, the planet Uranus is said to be a cool blue planet. It has 27 moons, so that's kind of nice. It's a lot of lunar energy. It's a lot of different phases of consciousness all simultaneously coming to pass and passing and presenting itself, you know, in the present moment, whatever that is. So let's see. Beautiful pile number 3 who chose the Zopilote, and normally I see them circling in front of me here. I'm going to show you a little view. Turn this around a sec. See where I am. Yeah, so bird's eye view. Okay, so how during the end of this Aquarian lunar cycle, under the influence of the beautiful, expansive, fresh, future-forward, unpredictable, shocking planet Uranus, how are you going to shock yourself, and how are you going to shock other people? What's your shocker, pile number 3? There's a Zopilote. Hello, Father. How are you going to shock people, pile number 3? Pile number 3, how are you going to shock people? How are you going to shock yourself? What's your shocker, pile number 3? Okay, so we have the Ace of Wands. So this is fire energy, and it was in the reverse. I'm going to have to ask for another one to clarify this. Oh. Okay, I feel like you're going to shock yourself and you're going to shock people with your detachment, with your ability to put out a fire. So this, I mean, that can be really positive sometimes, you know? A neutral energy or a non-engaged energy can be precisely what a situation calls for, and maybe you are normally a very fiery kind of confrontational or seeking or ambitious person, who always wants to be in the action, who always wants to be acting. And maybe in this case, your detachment is actually doing more and creating more of a shock wave. And maybe your ability to put out the fire by detaching your energy from it is actually what brings about a massive shocking change in, you know, in your field of energy, in your perception. Let's see. Okay, and I was just called to pull another one for you, so we have the Nine of Cups. I feel like something pretty, like a large life event you could be withdrawing your energy from at this time. This could be like a relationship, this could be a family, this could be, you know, a group of people or a situation that, or a project, or a collaboration that you thought you would be part of for an extended period of time that you would see through to the end, that you're withdrawing your energy from that. And you no longer wish it with these two energies together. So it could even be like, this is quite specific, but you don't want to have a baby with someone. Like that's kind of specific, but that's really what this energy is saying. You don't want to have a baby with someone. You don't want to procreate. You don't want to have a family with them. You don't want to be with them. So that's withdrawing your energy from that kind of an option. A relationship can be a shocker, and it is a shocker. But if you didn't even know it was coming, and then you surprise yourself by being true to yourself in that way, then that's cool. And I congratulate you on being open to the ever-changing energy of our consciousness. And let's get one more card for you, Zopilote. And that could be very purifying for your life as well, I'm receiving. And it could also be important for your own evolution, your soul evolution as an individual, to recognize that one particular relationship or with another individual or with a group of people or with a commitment or a plan is not what you want, and you don't want to back it with your energy. Yeah, wow. There's a shocker for you. So you got a little hint about that here. Maybe that's already underway for you. It's pretty strong energy to come out. So let's see, is there anything else for pile number 3, Zopilote? Yeah, definitely. So we got the drum, which is number 13. And the drum is kind of like a death symbol in this deck. I take it as a death symbol sometimes. That means your frequency is changing. You want to march to a different drummer or your own drummer. Your heart, which is your human drum, you know, your human rhythm, your soul, your heart, together, you know. Maybe the, you know, maybe the drum is the soul, or the soul is playing the drum, you know, the soul is playing the heart. So I think you've made room to really hear the rhythm of your own soul, and you're engaging fully and consciously in this process of transformation that's occurring in your own life, within yourself. It might seem to come about quite suddenly, and that's fine, but you're recognizing it very quickly now too, and you're calling it what you want to call it. You're not calling it something that you've been instructed to or commanded to. You're taking the sticks into your own hands, and you're playing the rhythm to which you want to walk, to which you want to move. So, that's kind of beautiful. And it really does reflect the Uranian energy of spinning on its sides and, spinning in the opposite direction to most of the planets in our solar system. So it's sometimes, even though this shocking energy doesn't always seem to be something that we instigate, it does sometimes take a backbone and take some balls to carry on and to go with it without resistance. So if you're doing that, I congratulate you. And thank you for watching. Happy birthday, all you Aquarians. And we will see you on the full moon coming up soon. Bye.